are out of elementary school now, but I remember how lengthy those report cards are, and for each student and for each teacher to have to write those. So I think if we could at some point get maybe a grant or something to try to get that moving, because I think that would, you know, ease that responsibility a lot if we could computerize that template. And I know we've been talking about that for I think 2-3 years now. But again, you know, budget is the number one reason why that doesn't get done. So.
Going through quickly, we talked already about differentiated instruction over on page 20. We're really doing a nice job with breaking down our evidence that we're getting from our standardized testing. I do think the additional support in both in special ed and resource will allow us to continue in moving forward with our student success plans, identifying students' areas of need and building that into their school day. As a school and a district, we've made efforts in providing remediation or test-taking strategies through an extension of the school day, and even over the summer as a district we're offering some of that for some of our elementary school students for the first time this summer, which is a great thing. But we're taking steps forward to be able to really put that in within the curriculum of the student's day as well, as specific as that can be. Going over on page 21, talking a little bit about the school, we continue to work on our community and then talk about what it means to be an effective citizen in the schools. And we haven't used in the past 2 years. We're looking to get back to a student council of some sort at the elementary school level. But one of the things that we're really interested in looking at is a community service learning model that might be outside of the school day, almost like an activity where instead of trying to carve out time within the school day and pull kids together to come up with school-based activities, really looking at things that we can do outside of our school, within our community, and in the big picture too, and then getting kids to volunteer and parents to volunteer to help us run it and coordinate that. So that's something that we're going to spend some time on over the summer and planning and communicating with our student body. Our parents organization continues to coordinate with the school faculty and administration on bringing in quality enrichment program. Shayna Swartz has been our enrichment coordinator for the past 3 years as part of the BPO. Her daughter's entering 5th grade this year, so she's smart that she's coordinated a committee to take her place, because that's really what you need. She's got 4 people who will try to fill her shoes next year, and they're going to have to work awfully hard to do that. She's been very creative and committed in bringing a lot of different opportunities to our student population, from Ruby Bridges came to speak at the Bachelor School, to Kevin Hawks, Mark Rothstein, who's a jump roper, but that's not even a good way to describe him, because his self-esteem message and character building on top of the freakish talent that he had was eye-popping for kids. And so that financial commitment and organization has been really nice from our parent organization, and I look forward to working with Shayna Swartz and the committee to continue that tradition, because it's something I've become very proud of for our school and our community. We continue to work on getting aligned with the school district policies for health and wellness. I think the first step is by restoring our health education to full-time on the simplest level that will deal with that. Continue to look at handbook and policies district-wide. We'll be able to reflect upon that and what we're doing for health and wellness. As far as our positive behavior programs, we just finished our 2nd year with our Caught Being Good and our Bulldog Pride positive behavior programs, which continue to be successful. We're working on expanding. Ms. Hydorn and myself kind of are the administrators of the program, and we're going to have a larger committee next year. We're getting very big. We need to share the wealth. because it's a lot of details and the kids get very excited about it, and we need to make sure that it's mainstreamed a little bit better into all parts of our day, to carry it through all of our classrooms. So we're looking forward to that.
That is a wonderful approach. You hear, the phrase a lot, anti-bullying, and it just has a negative sound to it. And when you take this approach of, just clock being good and meaningful work, it addresses the bullying, but it also develops character. It's the positive way of addressing that issue. And I love it. Good job.
You understand the vision very well.
Yeah.
Good job.
I've raised kids, not
Yes,
500.
I had one of your children in my
Not
school
5.
today.
Oh, yeah,
That's-
custodial work.
Nice job. Did a
I
good
must
job.
have used that expression 5,000 times
Yeah.
in the last 2 years.
Finally, in facilities and physical plant, we're actually in probably a pretty good shape here as far as a school improvement plan for sitting here in front of you. We're excited about where we are. We're looking at possibly increasing our outdoor paved space with cooperation of the Historic District Commission and what we're doing there. So hopefully we'll hear from them sometime soon. The security school building, a part of our school building project, allocated some funds to do that, so we're excited about that and the changes that will provide for the bachelor school this summer. And then finally, furniture. When we came back to the school, we did a very good job from our relocation to Stoneham and back. We had a lot of furniture in good shape, and a lot of it went back into the school. So we have a pretty good plan of rolling out a couple of classrooms a year. This year we are getting 2 classrooms because we have essentially 2 additional classrooms with a new 5th grade class coming in, and that 5th first grade section going from desks to the kindergarten tables, or a hybrid of both. But those were all within our budget plan, so that won't have too much strain on our operational budget. And then that technology piece is one of the things that I'm conservative in the approach as far as how much to put in till we're able to use it well. So we have our smart board in our computer lab. That will be a focus of training and teaching for all of our teachers, and then that's what will dictate where the next smart boards go as far as the successive use of that. So in a quick nutshell, that rules out the school improvement plan goals for the next school year for the school council. If you have any other questions, I'm going to sit quietly and let anybody else answer that would like to. Thank you for your time.
I just love the format. I mean, it's easy to follow when you've, outlined the statement, the activities and the objectives. We should standardize them in all the schools.
I have, I guess, 2 questions, one related to this, and you kind of answered it, but the current outside play service, is that just to expand the paved area? That's essentially what you're looking for? Maybe put a couple basketball hoops or whatever?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
I think that it was really highlighted this winter when there was snow cover on the ground for such a long time, that there was really a limited space for, several hundred children at one time to play outside. And I think in one of our school council meetings, Ms. Hydorn said, you haven't seen anything until you see kids just on the little narrow sidewalk path playing foursquare with an imaginary ball and, fighting over it. But that's what they were all stuck in a very small, hard play surface, because you can't play on the grass. And I think that highlighted the need for more hard play space. It's something we need to work on.
I would also say that we do a good job maintaining the grounds. We have this beautiful space there, and we've never had personnel to attend to the finer landscaping.
Right.
We mow lawns, but we've never really figured out how to maintain a nicely landscaped area. So I'll say it publicly, partly as a way to just hopefully we'll get it done. Towards the late part of the summer before school starts, we want to send a crew over there to try to freshen up the grounds as well.
The other question I have, which isn't related really to the improvement plan at all, but every year in the paper you see the group of students that are going off to, I think, Tanglewood for a week-long program. And I've always, every year I say that, going back to when my kids were in elementary school, and I say, why isn't that district-wide? So I guess it's not a question to you. I was wondering why that isn't, is that open up to the other schools, and is it just at the, you know, the discretion of the principal, of the administrator at each school as to whether they get involved in that program? Because I think it's a great cultural program, obviously, and
It is a great program. I was in that program when I was in 5th grade.
You were,
I did the
see?
Disney arts and the.
and I know the batch has, I think, been involved in that program for a long time. And I don't know if it's something we could roll out to the other schools, or if it
Well,
requires
Part of it
work.
is the,
or-
it's Ms. Fisher started this a number of years ago at the batch, and then I believe Mr. Tatro from the little school is involved, and it's both of those two teachers have an association with the program at Tanglewood, and it's because of their association that children from that school participate.
Okay. I mean, I think if it's something we could look at in the future, is to maybe just giving other kids an opportunity from other schools, and maybe we could get more children from North Reading participating. It's a great program for everything I've read about it. And if Nicole was in it, it has to be
And
outstanding.
I think this year might have presented to be a little bit more difficult with the reduction. But I do think in past years, there has been an effort to coordinate
With
that
other
through
schools.
the elementary schools an option. But as the superintendent said, I think it's the promoters of the people who are there that you have your hands on them and you're saying, this would be great. And they're talking to the parents because there's a fee involved, you know, and everything like that. So I think that may lead to be part of it too.
This last question is, have you spent all the $5 million yet, or do you have any left?
Well, I didn't do it. I was there, we went to the right people. I was just happy for the community that was a nice afternoon.
That was a great day, and I know Dr. Burton and Carl are staying on top of the next step to see. In fact, I got an email last week from a school committee member in Winchester saying, we did things during the moratorium, how did you get money? And I said, we've got a great administrative team in this district.
Yeah.
And I said,
Very
what can I
relentless.
tell you? And I said, you know, our state representative and senator also pushed really hard. And so David, you may be getting some calls, because we're now getting asked how can they get the money too. So, but that was great. It's a great day. They can, right, we've got it, right.
So I'd like to thank the school council for their work. It's really a nice vehicle to get different perspectives on some of the big picture items outside of our administrative team. So I appreciate the time that they commit and the work that we did this year too, especially outside of really our school improvement plan with the big picture budget, and communicating to our parents effectively was something that the parents on our school council really led for our school and the district to communicate that. So I thank you for your time and your efforts in that.
I have a motion to accept, is it accept or approve? I always forget. Accept the batch elder school improvement plan.
Motion to accept.
Motion by Mr. Backus, second by Ms. Bowers. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice job.
Good night.
Okay, next we'll bring up Principal John Bernard from the high school, and I'm kind of disappointed Jerry isn't here, because I know this is one of his highlights of the year, is to go over the high school student and parent handbook. Hopefully he'll come in.
He's at home.
He's at home right now.
watching.
He's going to be running out.
As soon as we're done.
Good evening.
Hey, John.
Well, thank you for having me again this year to present to you our proposed handbook for the high school students and their parents for 2008-2009. Well, this is the proof, the draft, that will be shrunk down to a smaller size, but for now, we're at the stage where we still are able to make changes to it. So, coming before you tonight, I really have no substantive changes as I have in the past in terms of asking you to endorse some policy changes. Last year we had a proposed change to our attendance policy. The year before we had a proposed change on the drug and alcohol policy. But I do not have anything like that this year. The only substantive change that I think that may be worth highlighting for you is on page 13, and that's the paragraph on academic honesty. There's no policy or consequence assigned to that necessarily, but I think it's important just to point out for your benefit the fact that we believe at the high school that there is a need for just putting some definition to what may constitute academic dishonesty, a definition to plagiarism and such, because in the world of the internet now,